Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone is fine. Today's topic, we will be talking about the Lord's Passover. That will be today's topic. Um, Today is the 27th of March, 2024. And if I look at my watch, the time is exactly 10 minutes to 10 in the evening. And I'm recording this video from my country, South Africa. I live in Africa and I live in South Africa. And English is not my native language. It is the language I happen to speak. And I've decided to make this video in English. I think this is my first time ever to make a video in English. We are making a lot of videos, which is targeting the majority of Black people, because Black people during slavery or during apartheid, Black people were never allowed to read and talk decent things to one another. And then I think in the year 1994, I was very young. In that year, maybe I was 10 years or 11 years. My elders are teaching us, or they taught us that we acquired our freedom from the Western oppression, because this country was oppressed by people from Great Britain, who are speaking people, as well as people from Dutch, from Holland or Netherlands. But today I'm not going to talk about history. I'm going to talk about what is called the Passover, or what is called the Lord's Passover. Um, in this country, the majority, okay, like if you come to South Africa, you'll find us speaking English because that's our country's communication language. Even the religion that we practice a religion of Christianity, because it was a package that was brought by the European slave masters when they invaded not only South Africa, but most countries in the Southern Africa, countries like Zimbabwe, um, like um, like Zambia. Most countries in Southern Africa were colonized by English-speaking countries from Europe, beside Angola and Mozambique, because those were Portuguese. And if you go into those countries, they speak Portuguese, not English like us here in South Africa. But now we were given freedom. But my biggest worry is that, yes, you will find us in schools, you will find us in universities, you will find us living a very decent life. But when it comes to understanding things, we seem to be very confused, and to be confused at a very, very high level. It is for that reason that I've decided to make this video in English. And I understand very well that most people will be provoked by the information we are going to share here. But since it is a fact, and since we will reveal the source of information, if anyone decides to be angry with the information that we are going to render or that we are going to share with whoever is listening, if you choose to be angry, that's your choice. But we are not going to get soft um, with the message. We are not going to get soft or to go soft simply because we are thinking we are sensitive, and you will have a very hard time to swallow or to deal with this hard truth that we are coming with in a short space of time. So we are not going to do that. We are not going to be soft. We will tell things as they are. Well, if you look at this, as I've said today, as I'm speaking, it is the yes, it's at the evening, almost 10 p.m. at night here in my country. And I've said the date is 27th of March 2024. But on Friday, the 29th March 2024, this year, in this country, we will have what is called the Lord's Passover. So as I've said, we are Christians because that's a religion which the slave masters forced us to follow. I think same thing applied if you go into North Africa, because if you read a book by Thomas Pickenham called Scramble for Africa, North Africa was colonized by Arabs, and if you go to most countries in West Africa, you'll find people of African origin um, um, worshipping a religion of the Arabs. It is called the Islam. So I also believe that the Arabic slave masters, they forced their black slaves to follow that Arabic religion called Islam, because that's what the Europeans did when they came to Africa. We never accepted their religion, but they forced us as their slaves or as their subjects to follow their religion. But I'm not there. That's history. Today's topic is the Lord's Passover. Um, this Friday, on the 29th of March 2024, we will have holidays starting on Friday up until the 1st of April, which is next week, Monday. But the Lord's Passover, according to our country's calendar, or according to the authorities of this country, this year's Passover is on the 29th of March 2024. But now, here's what there's a serious contradiction here. If you look at last year, the Passover, it was not on the 29th of March, it was on the 15th of April 2023. Now, I honestly, I do not believe that the Almighty is confused, because the Lord's Passover, I believe it must be on the same day, like my birthday. I was born on the 25th of August. I won't declare the year. So every year I celebrate my birthday on the 25th of August. But what confuses me about this Passover, which has nothing to do with the Lord, because people, here's the truth. The Lord's Passover is not on March and is not on April. The Lord's Passover, according to Bible, if because if you're a Christian, you believe in the book called the Bible, then you believe that that's the holy book um, that tells you everything about the Almighty, the Lord. It says the Lord's Passover is on January, not on March or on April. So this is not the Lord's Passover. That's the message we want to pass to the people, that you're going to leave your towns, you're going to leave your districts, your provinces, traveling long distances, believing that you're going um, um, uh, to, to meet with other people, form a great congregation, and worship the Lord because it's the Lord's Passover. Think again, my friend, that's not the Lord's Passover. So you are just meeting just to worship, but whatever you're going to worship, whatever you're going to do, it has nothing to do with the Lord's Passover. That's the message for today. And we will tell you why we speak like that. So, this world, um, maybe I may not be good in explaining this, but we do have His Holiness Saint David Icke of England. He's very good to explain um, what is called the Illuminati. Is very good, and I will suggest that you can go on YouTube, follow him. I'm sure he's even on Facebook. He's got his own website. You can send him emails. I've got a lot of his books. He's an author, so I read a lot of his books. So I understand when somebody talks about Freemason, when somebody talks about the New World Order, the dark side of the planet, the Illuminatis, and so forth. So I do have an understanding of that. What I have discovered is that um, and 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 the dark side of the planet where devilish people live. And by the way, the people who are running this world, the people that you trust, that you vote for, most of them, they're in this cult. This is called Freemason or the Illuminati. This basically, this is um, all about worshiping the devil. So number three, I'll tell you why you will have Passover on March and April. Number three, if you have it on March, it's because if you look at this Illuminati triangle, how many corners it has? It has one corner, two, and three. So one, two, three. So that is why this month you have it on March. So that's why it alternates. On other months, it's on March. Next month, it's on April. Why we alternate? Because this is Illuminati pyramid. Um, the people who are running this world, they 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 believe in this because this world belongs to the devil, right? But last year it was held during the month of April, which is the fourth month. The fourth month in the world of the darkness, or in the secret world of of the dark spirits. Number four is a very critical number because this is it. Look at this. It has one, two, three, and four is that I. So now, if we have a Passover during the month of April, it is because we are anyway we are submitting to this as you see all these people, we are submitting to this I want to call this a seal because this is a seal of the devil. You understand? So at times it will be on March simply because the pyramid, Illuminati pyramid, it has three corners. The next month or the next year, it will be on April because the fourth, it represents one, two, three, and four. So this is not the Lord's Passover that you will have on March and April. It has nothing to do with the Almighty. It has much to do with it. That is why you people are going to die anyway, because they need blood here. If you those who they know, man, come on, that's what I'm saying. Go and follow David Icke. He's an expert. I read his books. I've got plenty of his books. I read about these things. I don't want I feel shame to explain this because there is a master of these things. He's a master of 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 the Freemason. He knows how to speak about these things, but that's the basic I can share with you. So there's no Passover, there's no Lord's Passover during the month of March and April. March represent three corners of this seal of the devil, and the fourth represent these three corners, but plus this eye of Horus. So during this time, when you people are going to live, most of you are not going to make it here. Anyway, you are not going to make it here. Most of you, you are going to die on the road because these people, they need your blood. That's it, people. There's no Lord's Passover during these 2 months. Now let's go to the next slide because I know you will get angry. Let's look at the book of Leviticus, it's chapter 23, and then we will read from verse 1 to verse 5. Let's read. Well, of course, after this, you can take your Bible. And by the way, I took this that information from the King James Version because that's what I have. It's a King James Version. But I believe if you have another version which is not King James, it's one and the same thing because it's the Bible. And it is read as follows. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying to Moses, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be the holy convocations. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest, a holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. Right. On the 14th day of the first month at evening, it is the Lord's Passover. Okay, let's try and describe this for those um, who will need some little bit of explanation. The Almighty, the Lord, was speaking to Moses here, talking to the people of Israel, the great Jewish nation, talking to them and say to this great nation, the Israelites, tell them that concerning the feast of the Lord, that which are holy convocations, gatherings, holy gatherings. 6 days shall work be done. So you will work for 6 days of the week. But on the seventh day, you must rest because that is a holy day. It's holy. It is the Sabbath. And the Sabbath is on Saturday, not on Sunday. Jesus Christ was not a European. He was a Jew. So Jewish people, they keep Sabbath as the holy day of the Lord. And the Jewish people, they keep Sabbath on Saturday, not on Sunday. So Jesus Christ was a Jew and he rested on Saturday because Saturday, that's the Sabbath day, is not Sunday. Sunday is not the day of worshiping the Lord. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can ask the great Jewish nation. They explain to you. They know exactly this because Jesus Christ, he was not an African and he was not a European, but he was a Jew. So they know these things. So that's I believe that's why even the Almighty was speaking to this great nation, people of Israel. So they keep everyone. So if you love the Almighty, you must keep Sabbath, which is Saturday. You must keep that day holy, and you must rest. You must not do anything because the Almighty never conducted any work on Saturday or during the Sabbath. But here's the thing, people. It says here, and remember this is Leviticus 23, verse 1 to 5. It says here, because that is our topic for today, or for this sermon, or for this lecture. On the 14th day of the first month, the first month is January. So January 14th, it is the Lord's Passover. Let me ask the question now. Why do we have it on March and on April? Because the Bible, it says it must be on the 14th day of the first month, which is January the 14th. Why um, do we have it on March and we have it on 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 April? Why? But I've already given you my explanation, explanations that March represent number 3. And number 3, it means 3 corners of the Illuminati triangle. And number 4, it means 3 corners of the Illuminati triangle plus that eye in the middle of that triangle. So that's why you people, you are going to die. You understand? Because you're not going to feel any Holy Spirit. You're going to feel horrible spirits there. So you will die on your way, and you on your way to worship, and you will also die on your way back to where you come from. Because these people here, my friend, they need your blood. So if you do not know David Icke, please go on YouTube, type David Icke. You can go on his website. You can read his books. Even some of the books are ebooks, but I bought a lot of his books. I've got hard copies in my house. I'm reading. I know what is this, but I don't want to talk about it because there are good people who are very good in explaining it. But I understand that the rulers of this world, they have subscribed to this cult. So these people, they need your blood, people. So you need to wake up. So that's the topic for today. And I believe I've explained it at the best of my ability. And I would also need you to subscribe. Maybe, yeah, you can subscribe, but we render a lot of our videos in my own native language because we want to communicate to Black people because they seem to be lost. in most of the times. If and they seem to be confused at a very high level. We don't understand what is going on. So we are trying to reach them or to communicate with them using their own native language. We believe that they will understand it better because, I mean, if you are a dog, you have to bark to the other dogs. You understand? So as an African, I also believe that I have to speak my when I need to share information with my own kind, I have to stick to my own language. So, but if you like this video, you can share it with your friends so that they must know exactly what is the Lord's Passover. So, thank you very much for your time. Hope we will meet next time. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.